Can hear you loud and clear.
Ah, fantastic, Victor. That is amazing. We have got Victor, we've got Sia, ma'am, and yourself, Retabil. Is that correct? Did I pronounce it correct? I can't hear you. You are on mute.
Yes, Ritabile.
Ah, fantastic. Retabil, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you a safety officer?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Sorry about my camera somehow this morning does not want to work. So you guys have got to look at my logo for today, but maybe it's a good thing because it's so cold where I'm sitting here. I think the internet is bad as well. Okay, so you are a safety officer.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. For which organization do you work?
I work for Mobeni Integrated Systems.
Oh, great. Do you guys do safety files for construction, or is it just for your for the manufacturing area?
It's just for the manufacturing area.
Ah, you see, that's important information because the construction regulations differ from the rest. Victor, you said you are in the construction mostly, eh?
Correct.
Okay, okay. And then we have got Sia. Sia, are you in the construction industry? And then we have got Olabile. I know Olabile. I've seen you before, eh, Olabile? Can you hear me? Give me the. I can see you are on mute there. I just want to know a little bit about you guys so that we can make this more site specific and correct. That okay? I just quickly want to ask you. Okay. Okay, I am. You know what I'm going to do? So I can have my camera on here as well. Is just invite myself as well. Okay, good. Okay. Good. I think we can start. Great stuff. Let's go. Check here. Make sure that people can see my face because my camera is giving me trouble this morning. Okay. Good. 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 Can everybody hear me? Leanne, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Mute one of your laptops.
Yeah, there's echoing feedback going on.
You guys hear me now?
There's the echo.
Yes.
I think mute the laptop and use your phone for.
No, I'm going to put this off. This is not going to work. Somehow this is giving me trouble this morning. Okay.
That's better.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, but
Yes.
there's still an echo.
Yes, we can hear you.
What's this? Okay. That's better. No. Okay, can everybody still hear me?
Yep.
Leanne?
Yes.
Leanne?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, great stuff. We're going to go on like this. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Technology is fantastic until it doesn't work. Okay, so today we are talking about appointment letters. It is extremely important when we start talking about appointment letters that we must identify the difference between appointment letters for the construction industry and appointment letters for your own manufacturing. That is why I've asked who is in construction or who is in manufacturing. Okay, so the manufacturing is actually extremely easy. It is usually in the construction where we are battling a little bit. But let's quickly have a look underneath the construction industry. I quickly on the manufacturing industry, because that is usually the easiest one. So we're going to start with that one quickly. I want to share my screen. Just give me a moment here. Where am I now? Good. Appointment letters. Okay. Good. You guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Great stuff. So this is underneath a manufacturing, so it's outside of construction. Some of these appointment letters will sound familiar to you guys. So for example, first thing that we need to identify is who is management. Okay, so that is why we start with the 16.1 is the CEO. Okay, so that is the highest rank person in the organization. So if you've got a board of directors, they will normally nominate one person that will run the business. So that's where you get your managing directors or something like that. Okay, so your managing directors will be the 16.1. It's extremely important that we must identify who's the highest authority within any organization. I do not care if you're construction or if you are in manufacturing, warehousing, admin. That is the person which we must identify. And the law also requires that everybody in the organization must know who that person is. So if you ask somebody, who's your CEO or who's the highest authority, then they must know. Okay. Now your 16.1 says that the CEO is ultimately responsible for health and safety. That's why we must know who's that person. That is the person that will sign your appointment letters. That's the person that will sign your policies and your procedures and all of that thing, the documents that actually runs the organization. Okay. Now, when an organization is large, it says then like 16.2 that the CEO may appoint a 16.2 to assist him in his duties and liability. So that is like an assistant to the CEO. Now, I know in the construction regulation, we have heard the 16.2 appointment as a project manager. So the project manager, the construction regulation, this 16.2 is the person that represents the CEO for that project. Okay, that's quite important that we understand this terminology. So he is like the CEO for that project. Okay, and he reports directly back to the CEO. Okay, but just keep in mind, the law says it may appoint. So meaning if it's a small organization and you're going to run that project yourself, then you will not need a 16.2. Oh, guys, and I can just think back on all the arguments that we had in the past, because a lot of safety officers in the construction regulation said, no, we need a 16.2 because it's on my compliance audit. I need to tick that box. So then sometimes we do just appoint the CEO as the 16.2 as well. Okay, so, but in manufacturing, you will have people assisting the CEO in each department. Okay, think about that. Think about that. So in a department, you have got, in a manufacturing area, you've got warehouse department, you've got the manufacturing department, you've got admin department, and in each one of the departments, you've got one person that manages that whole department, the department manager. Now, I personally like to appoint that person as a 16.2 because he represents the CEO at that different departments. And that is extremely important that we must identify if something happens in this department, okay, who's going to answer the tough questions about what happened there? That is your department manager. Okay. Now, if the department manager is not there, okay, meaning he's going to a meeting or he's off-site or something's happening, who is the supervisor? Who is representing that assistant or the CEO there 24/7? He's constantly there. Okay, yeah, 24/7 if there's a shift running, so you'll have 2 or 3. Okay. But anyway, so keep in mind. So who is the supervisor that is there at all time? Okay. Now, listen to the wording of the OHS. We're going to read it now. I'm going to refer it again to it because it's important that you understand this. 16.2 says that the CEO may appoint somebody. Section 8.2 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act and Section 8 of the Construction Regulation says that you must. Okay? So all work must happen under supervision. There it says all work must happen under supervision of a person that is knowledgeable regarding the hazards and risks attached to the scope of work. So you can never leave your employees under no supervision. There must be somebody there that actually represents the CEO. So from here up, these top 3, CEO, 16.2, 8.2 supervisor in a manufacturing environment represents the CEO and they are management. Now, I usually, when I talk to my colleagues, I tell them we must understand that those people are the CEO at that given time, at that given place. And we need to compile our safety file to guide those people as if the CEO is whispering in his ear. Okay, so please make sure that you understand who is management. Now here you can see we have got representative of management, done and dusted. Now we've got a safety rep. Look at that, a safety representative. That is a person representing the staff. Okay, representing the staff. If management has got representation, the staff must have representation. And that's why the law says when you are 20 and more employees, it insists that you must appoint a safety representative. Okay, this person must be somebody that is nominated and elected. This person cannot be management. Guys, oh goodness gracious, guys. We have done compliance audits. People call us out to go and do compliance audits. We get to site and then we see they have trained the manager as the safety rep as well. So then the question is, if you sit in a safety meeting where the representative must be and where management must be, what hat are you wearing? Are you wearing the employee hat or are you wearing the management hat? So that's why it can never be a management position. A safety rep must be baseline employees. It's very easy to understand. If somebody reports to you, you management. Okay? If somebody reports to you, you management. That is how you define that. Okay? So these are the appointment letters that we are going to concentrate on today in the construction regulation as well. Then we'll have, other than the representation for management and the representation for employees, we have got emergency appointment letters. Okay, so we all know of those as emergency coordinator, evacuators, first aiders, firefighters. It is putting people in place for what happens when there is an emergency. Okay, we all know that these people need to be trained as well. And then there's duties appointment, meaning if you've got a ladder, we need a ladder inspector. If you've got tools, we've got a tool inspector, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, same rule applies in the construction regulation. Okay, are there any questions regarding the appointment structure for manufacturing, retail, warehousing, all of those? Any question regarding that? This is now a good time to ask a question. Okay, I think it was. Why is this? Liability, you are in manufacturing, you said? Are you happy? Okay. Let's quickly have a look. Any questions regarding that? That is extremely important that everybody must understand the appointment structure. Now we're going to look at the construction appointment structure. Okay. Underneath the construction regulation. Now, underneath the construction regulation, I quickly want to open up one. I'm not going to open in Sika, you are the aim. Before we look at the construction regulation, let's just look at the organogram. Okay. And Sika, can you quickly share your screen with us and just show us the organogram that you use before we say which one needs to be appointed where? Have you got that there for us?
Yes, I can show you mine. Let me just look for one quickly.
Okay. I've got an appointment organogram. Yes, let me show this one. Okay, that's fine. Let me quickly show this one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I've got it. Good. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Look at it. Now, this is now the construction regulations. Now, immediately you will see that there is some similarities. Now, I'm going to explain what we are used to, and then we're going to see what does the Act say. The first thing there you will recognize is that the CEO is still the 16.1. Okay, we still have a 16.2. It's the person responsible for that site. Okay, and then we have a construction manager. It is then the person that is responsible for the whole site. Underneath that, then you will find your construction supervisor, the 8.7. Does all of these numbers sound familiar? Do we understand that? Okay. So we have got then the construction regulation 8.1, construction supervisor 8.7. Can you see? It follows the same suit as per the manufacturing. Only difference is from here, when the responsible person is the 16.2, from there it moves over to the construction regulation and not the OHS, which is an 8.2, but an 8.1 in the construction regulation. It's your manager and your site supervisor. We have also found that a couple of the clients out there does not want to appoint underneath the construction regulation. They want to know who's your 8.2. It's fine. Before we argue with them, let's just get you guys on site. Okay. Then you will find under there's your health and safety representative if you are 20 and more. This is your representative appointment letters. You will also see, this was an old one, we've got a co-work officer there. Eh? Then you will see here is all the duty appointment letters. There's your risk assessor, incident investigator, fall protection plan, ladder inspector, first aider, all the different duties. If we are doing scaffolding, we need scaffold erector, scaffold protector, we need fall protection plan, safety harnesses, all of those things. If we have got power tools, we need a power tool inspector. All of these appointments must be shown on your organogram. And what is so amazing about that, and Sika, maybe you can show us afterwards how the appointment looks like on safe side. All of these appointment letters must be shown and must be accurate. Okay. Now, other than the OHS, the construction regulation says that all of these appointment letters must be in writing. Okay, it must be in writing. The only appointment letters under the OHS, I don't know if you guys know, that says that the safety rep and contractors must be in writing. Nothing else. Okay, but we do still appoint them because it's underneath section 13, duties to inform. We must inform everybody about their specific duties. Okay, good. Now, let's go to the nitty-gritty stuff. Here is, I'm going to do this underneath the construction regulation because it's quite important. You will see there is the CEO, and this is the extract from the Act where it says that the Chief Executive Officer shall, as far as reasonable practical, ensure that all duties of employees as contemplated in Act are properly discharged. Can you see? He is responsible for everything. Very important. And then, without derogating from his responsibility or liabilities in terms of Section 1, the Chief Executive Officer may, that's the key word, may assign any duty. So it's not everything, specific areas. Okay, CEO is responsible for everything. Section 2 for areas. Okay, and that's what I want to communicate with you guys here. Let's quickly going to have a look at the construction manager. Oh, I love talking about the construction manager, because the construction manager is where the most arguments come around. Look at this. The construction regulation 8.1, management and supervision of a construction work. Look at it. Management, very important, and supervision of construction work. 8.1, a principal contractor must in writing appoint one full-time competent person in the construction manager with the duties of managing, look at this, all construction work in a single site. In a single site, including the duties of ensuring occupational health and safety compliance in the absence of the construction manager. In alternative, must be appointed by the principal contractor, and that is the assistant to the 8.1, but we're not going to talk about that. Can you see here that the principal of the construction manager is a person that's ultimately responsible for everybody's on site? So think about this. Just like an organization, or just like a school, or just like anything out there, there's always one person that manages that whole area. Same rule applies to the construction regulation. In the construction site, there's one person which is responsible for everything. So the principal contractor, which has got the big contract, he will appoint one full-time competent person, as it is identified here. One full-time competent person. Currently, we have found that people actually appoint all contractors that comes to site because the safety officer is not knowledgeable regarding this. They appoint every contractor that comes on site, principal or subcontractor, irrespective. They just want to see a 8.1. That is wrong. Okay, that is actually extremely wrong. Okay, there must be one. If we have a look then at the 8.7, let's quickly have a look at it. The 8.7, a construction manager, look at that, must in writing appoint a construction supervisor. Come on, man. Come on, man. I feel like I'm preaching here today. Can you see that? 8.1 must appoint all the 8.7s, irrespective of what contractor he is. Because the subcontractors report to the principal contractor. The principal contractor is represented by that 8.1. So all the subcontractors, all their supervisors must report to the construction manager. So in theory, that construction manager must appoint that 8.7s in the other contractors. Okay. Now I do know, we have stumbled upon this. I think in the last year, we actually had only 2 sites that was done like this. It was done like this, which is the correct way. But all the other sites, they want in every company, they want the 8.1 and the 8.7. Now, and as I tell Sika always, we can argue with them and try to teach them. And that's going to take us 2, 3, 4, 5 days to argue with them, and most probably still lose. So let's just do the appointment letter and get the client on site. We must very well understand this, that the Department of Labor knows that this is a difficult subject. This is a difficult thing to grasp. I have spent many hours with the Chief Inspector here in Durban, where he says, we understand this. What we're going to do is when we get to site, when the Department of Labor gets to site, they ask, who is the person in charge of the site? And they refer them to the 8.1 site manager. And then they go to the contractor, and they said, who's the person in charge of this contractor's company? It's a subcontractor company. And they refer them to the site supervisor, unknowingly that they are actually already in that way of thinking, but they're doing the wrong written appointments. Okay. So this is the way that the act is then written out. Okay. So we go back there to the construction manager, which then appoints in all the 8.7s. Okay. This is an extract of the act. Okay. Okay, good. Let's quickly have a look at the 8.5. This is another thing that we need to just understand. This is also, once again, the extract from the act. You will see there that it says 8.5. A contractor must, after consulting, and I've highlighted it there, with the client, and have considered the size, come on guys, the size of the project, the degree of danger likely to be encountered, or the accumulation of hazards or risk on the site. Meaning, how dangerous is this work that you guys are doing? Can you understand that? How long is this project? How big is this project? How dangerous? What is the likelihood that somebody's going to get injured here on our history records? Look at this. Appoint a full-time or part-time construction health and safety officers in writing to assist in the controls of health and safety related aspects on this site, provided that where the question arises as to whether a construction health and safety officer is necessary, the decision of an inspector is decisive. Guys, I have taken this to discuss this specific question with a lot of safety officers that work for large principal contractors, whereby they say that they want a safety officer irrespective of what you do. So when the tiler comes to site and he's going to tile a place that's going to take him maybe 2-3 days maximum, he needs a safety officer. Versus the guy that replaces the sheeting on the roof that's really attached to true hazards, he also needs a safety officer. Can you see that the imbalance in there? Can you see that the OHS Act, the construction regulation, actually allows for you to decide? Because you can never compare a tiler's risk. He's not even standing. He can't even trip. He's already on the floor. The most that's going to happen with him is cuts and bad backs and carrying heavy stuff. Versus the guy that works on the roof, which is trip, slip, and falls, is responsible for 40% of all the claims from the Department of Labor. So that's why it's so extremely important that you must read your client specifications. We discussed this in the past. Read your client specifications. Find out, what does your client want? Because if you're going to go to a client like WBHO, which is the principal contractor, he's going to require you to have a safety officer on site. But if you go to a smaller client or somebody else that says, no, it's fine, we don't need a safety officer, then you work accordingly. Okay, so read your client specifications. Make sure you understand that they are working. Okay, that you understand the processes. We also have a lot of clients coming in here that in the past never used to have a safety officer. Okay, never used to have a safety officer. But when they appoint a client, they give in the client specifications, they mention there that we need a safety officer. And then it is just total chaos. They forgot to read it. And they're making doing the tender without a safety officer, and now suddenly the client requests, where's your safety officer? They need to appoint a safety officer, and they're not making money because it's expensive to rent a safety officer for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. You understand? So please make sure that you understand, do I need a safety officer or do I not need a safety officer? Okay. And those safety officers that's already in the company, you do know that you can ask your employer to charge for your fee. Although it doesn't come, but it doesn't come to you, but they must be, because Section 5 of the construction regulation says that the client must make adequate provision for the cost of safety. So you are an expense of the company, they must put it on the tender phase. Okay. Good. So then thereafter, we have got the health and safety representative. Can you see we also refer to it as underneath the Occupational Health and Safety Act that you need to have. And then we also have the various of other appointments regarding safety reps, first aiders, firefighters, tool inspectors, and all of those things. Good. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions regarding this? It's quite important that the people must understand that the appointment letters are there for a reason. The reason there is to inform not only your client, but also inform your employees of what needs to be done. Victor, you've raised your hand. Well, how can we assist?
Yeah, Gert, I just over my head when you mentioned on the supervisor appointment,
yeah,
the 8.7.
Yes.
On his duties, that supervisor carries on the safety officer's duties as well, depending on the size and magnitude of the project, where construction health and safety officer is not appointed. Am I right?
You are absolutely correct, because the way that I do it, we must actually deconstruct. This is a very good, valid question there. A lot of people say, I'm not a safety officer. It's not about being a safety officer. The difference between a person in management and a safety officer is a safety officer knows the law, okay, knows what needs to happen. He will guide the different supervisors. So if the safety officer is on site and he's permanently appointed, then yes, he will be liable. But if there is not on site, he's only there once a month or once 2 weeks or whatever the case might be, then Victor, that safety officer will guide the supervisor, say, listen, here is what you need to do on a daily basis. Here's your toolbox talks. Here's your inspections. Here is your safe working procedures. You need to complete this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So yes, then that supervisor needs to do the duties as set out by the safety officer. So in theory, yes, by lack of a better wording, we can say that that supervisor is carrying on with the duties as set out by the safety officer. So often, somebody will come and they will not do what is set out by the safety officer. Who is liable then? That's always a good question. So let's work it backwards. Let's say there's an incident and you need to defend yourself in the court of law, and our benchmark, I love using this, guys. Our benchmark is not is reasonable person. As a reasonable person, what have you done to prevent this incident from happening? Okay, so if somebody got injured, what do you think the Department of Labor, the Court of Law will ask? They will say, what have you done to try to prevent this incident from happening? Then you will first go and say, I have complied to the minimum requirements of the Act. That's what a reasonable person will do. I have appointed my people. The appointed people is competent. The appointed people have certain duties as set out in the appointment letters, and those duties are executed here and there and there and there. If they are not executed, then that is the person which is liable. So if the safety officer then goes and says for the supervisor, guys, I am not here for 2 weeks because I only need to be back in 2 weeks' time, that's all that we are required, then the supervisor needs to do those duties. If the supervisor does not do those duties, who is liable? If nothing happens and the safety officer comes back and he figures out that the supervisor did not do his duty as is required by the safety officer, the safety officer will then write in his report, escalate it back to the project manager. The project manager ignores it. Something goes wrong, who is liable? Can you see? It is then the supervisor on site and the project manager, not the safety officer, because the safety officer have acted as a responsible person. He can even go so far and close the site. But the project manager can overrule it and carry on, because what do you do then? The safety officer can even go so far and call the Department of Labor, because let's face it, guys, every single day in South Africa, 18 people pass away. 2 of them as fatalities in construction. Every single day. But you do get, and I've seen this after 22 years of consulting, I've seen this actually more than what I want, is that the project manager will overrule the safety officer, said, we need to finish this job, the money needs to come in at the end of the week because you need to get your pay on Friday, which is all valid, but people is dying. Do you understand? I've got a lot of safety officers that comes to me and they're complaining, and oh, my management doesn't want to listen to me. I don't think it's a problem from not listening. I don't think it's a problem that management doesn't want to listen to us. I think it's a problem that we as safety officers haven't acquired the skill to communicate correctly. We just say it needs to be done, but we never get around to the why it needs to be done. Okay, and that is extremely important. If there's anything that I can advise a safety officer to a skill to inquire is, how do you communicate? How do you communicate safety? You can't just come there and say it's got to be done, the law says so. It's not good enough. Start with, guys, people is dying in construction. Make it realistic. Okay, show them. If you lack some skills regarding it, we've got a YouTube channel, we call it the Safety Coach. Look at some of my videos there. Not that I know everything, but it's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. And don't use my wording. You've got to make it your own. But don't get stuck in a way that is not effective. Find a way. If it doesn't work, find a different way, because people is depending on you, and you need to acquire the correct skill. And really, guys, safety officers got the right to say, management, you must probably lose your job, so that's up to you. Management, you guys are not listening to me. We as a company is non-compliant. People is going to die. If we are non-compliant and we are found guilty, then I need to answer why I've never reported it to the Department of Labor. I must do my duty as well. Okay. Because just remember, you are registered with the SACP-CMP, and just like a doctor that does unlawful practices, he will lose his accreditation and he cannot practice anymore as a doctor. So the safety officer will lose his accreditation if he does unlawful things. Okay. Any other questions? Nsika, are you ready for us with your appointments there with SafeSite?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. If you can share your screen, I'll appreciate it. Just to show the guys, give them a little bit more clarity of all the appointments and how to do an organogram.
Yes. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Okay, where am I? Type screen. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just quickly. Okay. So yeah, this is a project that I was working on recently, and these are all the appointments that I had selected for that project. So I'm just gonna use the construction supervisor. This is just to show what the appointment looks like. So of course you will get on at the very top, this is where the project details would be. And this is all done by our system that we use here in-house. So the project's name, the company name as well, and the title of the appointment letter, which is very important, right? So, and then what follows is the regulation, of course, and then the person responsible, and their duties as well. So you'll also see the duties of the appointment letter, right? And then another important part would be the person that's making the appointment, and then the person that's going to be accepting the appointment as their responsibility, right? So here is the person that's going to be accepting the appointment, which is a supervisor, Wiseman, right? And then Louis is the 16-2 in this situation. But as Gert had mentioned earlier, right, and this is something that we actually had spoken about. So the 16-2, right, in this case, because this is a construction-related appointment letter, the 16-2, which is Louis, is not supposed to be the one making this appointment letter. It's supposed to be done directly by the construction manager, right? So the construction manager is the one that will make all of the construction-related appointment letters. So that'll be your construction supervisor, your safety harness, what you call this, inspector, because that also falls under construction appointments, scaffold erector, scaffold inspector, right? So the construction manager makes all of those appointment letters. Okay. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And then, just so that it's more professional, there's a watermark that also shows that this is a site specific appointment letter and it's not just a generic one. Okay. So yeah, the system that we use does come with a lot of different appointment letters. These are the ones that I've just selected for this project. I just want to click on the risk assessor. And on the risk assessor, you will see that it's also pretty much the same, with it'll show the duties, what are the duties of the risk assessor and who signs. And then it's also now the part for the competency, because there's some risk assessments that require, training. So if you're a scaffold erector, you'd have to have the training for that as well. First aid, firefighter, all of those appointments, they have to have the training. So this appointment letter would be accompanied by the certificate as well. So yeah, this is basically what the appointment letter looks like. And if I can just go to the organogram, let me just see. Did I complete this organogram? Okay. Just gonna go to print. Okay, so this is the organogram. They didn't have much stuff, but this is the people that she had actually asked that I put in for these roles, and then she said she had asked me to leave these appointment letters blank for her to decide who was going to be responsible for these things, who was going to be the electrical tool inspector, first aider. This is something that she was going to decide on at a later stage, but she was pretty sure of these appointments. So your HAZCAM manager, housekeeping, and hand tool inspector. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I don't know if I'm leaving anything else, Gert.
No, I love this. Thank you very much. I
Okay.
hope you guys have picked up that what's so fantastic about the software is it becomes foolproof. So many times you put a name in the incorrect place, and you don't know what happened, and you need to follow up, and eventually the client says, "Oh, come on, do you know what you're doing?" And this is what's so nice about the software. It puts the names in the correct places.
Yep.
And you can load your employees. And Sika, quickly show us where you can load your employees so that when you select your appointment letters, it's literally just drag and drop. Not even drag and drop, it's select. You just select.
It's just selecting, yeah.
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
your employees, you load all your employees.
Yeah. So yeah, so at this stage, she had only given me like names and ID numbers. I'm still waiting for her to send me all of like the people's trainings and medicals and all of that, so I can upload onto the system. But as you can see, this is actually where the certificate would go. I just wanna open this one here. So if whatever training that you have, you can just drag it, paste, and then you can just drop it over here. And so I really got, okay, this is first aid. But when you have, when you have like all of the information for the certificate, when the training was done, when it expires, you can put in the dates, so that the system also reminds you 30 days in advance that a certain document is about to expire. It doesn't only do it with training, but it does it with any expiring document. So that could be your letter of good standing, public liability, even driver's license. It tells you any expiring document. It is able to alert you 30 days in advance, as well as medicals as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, guys, thank you very much. I hope this helps a little bit. Is there any questions where we can assist you? Yes, Victor.
Yes, sorry, Car, to keep everyone holding. Just a quick question with this system. Brilliant. Thank you, Ansika, for a brilliant presentation as well.
thanks.
My question is, does it also link up to the biometrics clocking in of the employees and then at the end tie up to a payroll?
No,
No,
unfortunately.
unfortunately not. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Maybe we should ask our developer to think about that and let's see if we can maybe in future, but not currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see we have, is it Alta?
Yes, Alta, how can we help? Alta, you're still on mute? Alta, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
Let's see.
Okay. Good. I think Alta actually accidentally just opened up there. Is there a message from him? Guys, like normal, we are going to send you a little bit of appointment letters that you can use. We will definitely send you the management appointment letters. So please drop your email address for us. Please drop your email for us so that we can reply back for you guys and send you some what we spoke about, and also maybe the link to our YouTube channel, the Safety Coach, so that you guys can maybe see if that can help you, just so that you can have effective communication. Because when we talk to safety, to management, they need to understand that it's not you, it is management that's responsible, okay? Especially outside of construction, okay? Good. Please give us your email addresses in the comment section now so that we can copy that.
I see
and
there's quite a
send
few.
you through your details. Yes, Nsika?
No, I'm saying I can see that there is quite a few emails that are already in the comment section here.
I've received them already.
Right.
Now, Leanne, quickly just tell the people regarding our next training sessions for how to compile a safety file.
Hi, everyone. We currently have an online workshop that we're doing. It's on the 13th of August. It's from 9 to 1. So it'll teach you how to compile a safety file regarding the construction regulation and how to maintain the safety file. And then you'll get access to our documents that we have, our library, as well as we'll discuss our software. So if you guys attend that course, you'll get a discount on the software side. It's 1,000 Rand ex-VAT per person. It's an online course. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to just email me and tell me, send you a quote, and then we can book your spot once payment is made.
Okay.
Great. I
Great
see.
stuff.
Alicia,
Thanks, many people. I've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, remember my passion is to talk to safety officers because it's the only way we can help. I know the biggest problem is that we are isolated, and that's not our heart. We want you guys to never feel isolated and all alone, and because sometimes safety can become scary. I just actually this morning spoke to a safety officer there in the Eastern Cape that is the consultant for that farm where the person passed away this yesterday morning due to an elephant that stampled on him. So let's talk to each other, let's encourage each other, because safety can become daunting and scary, and there's no need for it if it's we can at least encourage each other. Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Kat. Hi, Colin. I saw that you are unable to unmute. You can put your comment in the section of the comment section, and then Kat can answer that for you.
Yes, not a problem. Good.
And Sasha, regarding your presentation recap, yes, documents will be sent through to you, and it'll be loaded up onto our YouTube channel, which will have the link on the email for you.
Okay. Okay. Alter, is there anything that we can help you? Are you busy typing for us before we log off? Love to help you as well. I want to ask about the risk assessment on the software, or is this just about the appointment letter? No, Alter, the software is designed for compiling the complete safety file. Zika, I don't know if you want to go to the home page just to show the content of it.
Yeah, sure, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Just go to the home page. You will see there is all the elements. It is actually designed to compile the whole file.
Yeah.
The appointment letters is merely just one element there. As number 2, you can see there is personnel, and 3 is responsibility. Those are the appointments. So you can compile everything from your policies to your risk assessments. Quickly go to risk assessments. That was a question of Alta. Just show us just in the library one. It comes preloaded with generic risk assessments. We might, but so there is all the some risk assessments, but if you are interested, you can join us maybe on our course, or just ask Sika for an overview of this quickly.
Colin, I am aware that you do have the software, so if we need to do a recap with you, just give me a shout and then we can take it from there.
Okay, then I've got another question here. They've closed our site by Department of Labor for working without a CWP. Is the safety officer responsible for that? CWP, just refresh my mind, stands for Construction Work Permit. Is that correct? Is that what you refer to? Yes, the Department of Labor has got the right to close a site if you haven't done a permit. Just remember, there's a difference between a construction permit and notification of construction. Notification of construction is when you are just doing normal construction work. When you do a permit, is when you are 60 million and above, or the project is more than a year, or if you got 1 million man hours. So there's various criteria. This is a major site then. This is not just quickly build a small little office and paint the office. This is a major site. So then you need to have a construction permit, work permit from the Department of Labor, whereby you notify them, this is the project, this is the principal contractor, this is the safety officer, this is the plans that has been approved, and then they will say, okay, everything seems to be above board, and you will carry on. Just think about it. There in Naisna, sorry, in George, there was this building that collapsed. They bypassed this work permit. Okay, they bypassed it. And I don't say that's the reason why it collapsed, but it's another control that the government has put in place to pick up unsafe practices. So yes, you can be closed down. Matter of fact, as the CEO can even be fined. Okay, can even be fined for that. Great, I'm loving this. Thank you very much for your questions. That is what it's all about. So you guys, if there's any questions that you might think of in the later stage, you've got our email address, you've got our contact numbers. Give us a call. And Sika and Leanne, they are target driven, but I am not. I just want to answer your question. Okay? And make sure you guys are enjoying your safety as it was intended to be. Because we are lifesavers. We are really lifesavers.
Yes.
And we like that. Okay, thanks, Leanne. Perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. This was
Thanks,
a lovely
guys.
weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day, everyone.
Guys.
All right, cool. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stop sharing.